What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, finally bringing you that long-awaited Raidraptor deck profile. It just took, for some reason, it took some cards extra long time to get here, and this isn't like the most perfect Raidraptor deck. I definitely won't say that, but and also I think things are going to really change when Phantom Rage comes out. I think the TriBrigade cards are going to absolutely change the way that Raidraptors are played, but for the meantime, this is how it's going to go. And this deck is definitely built for until Utopic Zexal gets banned when Numeron comes out, ultimately. Before then, you guys can enjoy it. So let's just get started here. So yeah, this is a pretty standard start, I would say. I run the Kaiju build for going, just in case you go second, like you just have to give yourself the best chance. This is a pretty dominant going first deck, obviously. So yeah, here's the one Kaiju, here's Gameciel, obviously, and then the Mad Flame Kaiju. Run 3 of them, and then you'll see later I run the spell as well, so that's pretty standard stuff. Most of the time when you're facing going second board, it's a lot of, oh boy, it's like Herald of the Arclight, Bora Savage Dragon, and Appaloosa. So that's usually one of the strongest boards you'll be facing, so you Kaiju the Savage Dragon. In reality, all you have to do is negate or, bait out the Herald. And then if you have the Kaiju spell, obviously that cleans the list of the board. So I'm not going to tell you they have the best chance going second, but it's not bad. And plus you have a bunch of blowout Raidraptor cards that you can access from your extra deck as long as you can get to them. And you guys probably saw that in the tag team duel when I went into Revolution Falcon and cleaned up board going second. So that goes there. This is pretty standard, just the 3 of Vanishing Lanius. And if you guys don't want to watch me explain all this, of course, as always, for my deck profiles, I'll have the deck profile in the description for you guys as well. So Vanishing Lanius is pretty obvious. That's one of the best cards in the archetype. Next, we have 3 Tribute Lanius, so there's 3 of them. I don't want to just like slowly fan these out for you guys, but Vanishing is probably the best Raidraptor card. Second to your 2 copies of Mimicry, and I know what you're thinking, like, what? Only 2, but you technically have a 3rd copy, and I'll get to that in a bit. But that's always going to search your Raidraptor nest, or if you're in a super desperate situation, you'll probably get another Raidraptor cards to at least give your board something, which usually equates to like a Simorgh monster. Second, I have 2 Pain Lanius, and again, there is technically a 3rd copy, and I'll get to that in a bit. In terms of the combo, these are 2 must-haves, the Blackwings, the one Zephyros, and the one Bora. Those 2 are usually in combination for any combo deck. I think Lunalight obviously was privy to this combo. Next, we have 2 Goblindergh. I know some of this stuff does seem silly, but if you could just get just enough to put on your board for the full combo, obviously, like there's no stopping you. So yeah, you have to play some silly cards in there, and there'll be even more silly ones to come. But overall, it's definitely worth it. The one Mist Valley Avian, that's just a negate. You probably want to put your Storm Barrier statue first on the board, but after going second, maybe they put some face downs. Like just gives you a little bit of insurance. So. And last for the monster lineup, we have 1 Kage Toki. I used to have this at 3, then I put it at 2, then I'm like, the most important summon is your normal summon. So if you have 2 of these in your hand, it's like dead because it can't be normal summon. So 1 I found was a pretty good middle ground there. Okay, now we're on to our spells. 2 Called by the Grave. Like I said, our normal summon is so important. It gets negated a lot of the time. It's not enough. Not always the case, for sure, but it's good to have insurance. And plus, Called by the Grave is just good in general against your opponent. So the 1 Foolish Burial, so yeah, that goes. This is basically our 3rd copy of Mimicry, and usually it's better in the graveyard than it is in our hand, so that just gives us a little bit of insurance that we'll see it less. The 1 Upstart Goblin, so that we have a 39 card deck. I think that's a philosophy a lot of people use, and this may shock a little bit of people. But in terms of the rank up lineup, I'm running 2 Soul Shave Force. I actually do not run the traditional rank up magic spell for Raidraptors. Maybe when I go pure I will, but for the time being now, that will not be the case. And then the 1 rank up magic Raid Force, which you'll dump from Beatrice most of the time. But as you'll see, there is a tiny application for it, just in case you draw it in your opening hand. It's not a granite in your hand, technically. You can use it. The one Monster Reborn, you never know, could save you and keeping your combo going. And let's just keep going. 2 Twin Twisters. As much as I'd like to have this to be like Lightning Storm or something, I'm not a millionaire, and I would imagine not a lot of you guys are either, so that's the budget option of Lightning Storm, basically. And hopefully in the Megatins we get a Lightning Storm like a promo, like Nibiru was, so we can keep that price down. The one for one, that's your Pain Lanius. That's your third copy, technically, of Pain Lanius. The thing is, if you use 1 for 1 and keep it on the board, it means you can still use Pain Lanius later in your turn, like his actual effect in hand, if you were to add it somehow. So, not bad at all. Up next, we have 2. This is the silliest card in the deck, I understand. 2 Magical Mallet. Now, look, I get how silly this is, but like I've mentioned in my videos before, if you use Magical Mallet and you get the combo pieces you need, so technically you have like a 37 card deck. All you need is like 1 play starter and an extender, and if you get it, you win the game, basically. So, as silly as it seems, it's a pretty darn good card, I think. For more drawing, here's 2 Lure of Darkness. I usually have it at 3, but I think that's a little too much, honestly. You never even want to draw into your lure off your lure, and you have a pretty high chance of doing that, to be honest with you. So, last couple spells here. Like I was mentioning before, the Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Definitely a good card for if you're trying to break a board. It gives you the best chance to break a board, I should say. So you never know what you're playing against. You always want to go first, but you always try to prepare for second as well. And if you know you're going first, then you can side in a bunch of cards that, keep the consistency up going higher. But if you're facing a board that you can't break going second, there's nothing you can do at all. So last spell here, Double or Nothing. I do run the Double or Nothing package, and it's won me a lot of games going second. Everyone's like, okay, he's playing Raidraptors. I know what line he's going, because this is a pretty standard thing. And all of a sudden you pivot into Double or Nothing and the game's over. Happened in the Sky Striker game that I posted earlier. So I recommend you guys check that out. And last, for more rank 4 plays, you got the 2 Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine. So yeah, there's the deck as it is right now. And like I said, I think TriBrigade is going to change the way we play Raidraptors, but this is what we have working for us. Let's go to the extra deck here. Starting off with the poster boy of the extra deck. Let's get this out of the way. Here's Utopic Zexal. That's probably going to be banned along with the dinosaur monster. The King of All Calamities, but enjoy it while you can. Although, what that even means, I don't know, because there's no locals, at least where I'm at. So, what are you going to do? I'll take these off and go one at a time. So, yep, there's Utopic Zexal. Here's your 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Infinity, which is a fantastic card. And that new rank 6 that's coming out in Phantom Rage with the new Datascape archetype may be another target you want to put in your extra deck. But for now, nothing even gets close to Cyber Dragon Infinity having those effects that you use with Soul Shave. Here's the 1 copy of Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. It actually looks a lot better when I'm looking at it in light now, but Cold XZ's monsters to me are so ugly. But that looks okay from that angle. This is a little bold, guys. 1 copy of Raidraptor Wise Strix, and I know that's like, what, this should be a 3 of, but the extra deck is so tight, and I try to put as much utility in here as possible. So maybe you want to put it in 2 and bump something else out. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you guys have in your extra deck. Here is your Simorgh, Bird of Sovereignty, which is just a monster beast of a card, and which is why I think TriBrigade will help bring this up even higher, because if your entire turn is busted, and then you can just link summon a Simorgh from your extra deck, drop a barrier statue, that might be enough to win you the game outright. Especially if you're playing like an invoked deck or something like that. And when Dragma comes out, that'll also be really big. Here's our Utopia lineup here. Number 39, Double or Nothing. You know how that goes, which you'll end up breaking into Utopia, which you can go into Utopia Prime. I do this to get my Utopic Zexal as high attack as possible. If you start him out at 4,000 and then he obviously detaches at 3, that's typically enough for lethal, like going second, just point wise. So maybe you want to take one of those out and have like a 3,000 attack Utopic. That's just, I'd rather have him be beefier. since it is my win condition. Rank 4 is your Tornado Dragon, which is really important because if you have your barrier statue and you want to make sure you can push for lethal, this is a wind attribute, obviously, because it's tornado. But that'll help you get around the own like struggles of not being able to special summon. Plus, maybe you need to pop a back row. At that point, like if you're going for your third turn, like going to end the game, you'll have a negate on the board, obviously, so you feel pretty comfortable. Maybe 2 if you have Infinity. And then if they set a bunch of back row, you can take out most of it and then negate the rest. Here's Evil Swarm, another rank 4. Again, maybe you're in a desperate spot and they've negated everything and they have no cards in hand. I think this is a great card that no one's really expecting. It's not something you always go into, but and again, you could replace this with like a Abyss Dweller, which I guess would be fine, but a lot of these extra deck cards are just for going second, so I think you have to keep that in mind as well. Up next, we do have Blaze Falcon. You're wondering, like, that's a really random Raidraptor card. It's okay, it blows up special summon monsters, but the real effect is if you have that that rank up spell in your hand, you can otherwise you wouldn't be able to use it or send it to the graveyard in any way. So you can rank up your Wise Strix, or your Force Strix, excuse me. That way it's dumped in the graveyard and you can use it later to finish your plays. It's okay too, I guess. Here's your Revolution Falcon. This is your going second card. As you guys saw in that tag team duel, I actually was able to win the game just because he had a bunch of special summon monsters on the field, and I didn't have to go into Utopia because obviously it's not a very good going second card. Probably one of the best rank 4s in the game, Babushka. That just goes without say. Helps you stall and helps you get where you need to be best you can. And then the last, we have the 2 copies of Force Strix. So this is that's obviously, I can't believe it's a generic rank 4. Raidraptors wouldn't be playable without it, in my opinion. So, and I think the TriBrigades are rank 4. I don't know. I'd have to check on that. But yep, that's going to do it for the deck profiles today, guys. Normally I would put gameplay at the end of this, but I've been posting it throughout the week, so I recommend you guys go back and check those out. But I was just glad I was finally able to bring you the card by card live here. Other than that, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.